This is the Gobi Desert, the fifth largest desert in the world. It covers well over 500,000 square miles and is located in Asia's most isolated territory, stretching 1,200 kilometers east, northeast of China's Tanshan or Celestial Mountain range into China's Manchurian province. The valleys in this area are at a height between 1,600 to 5,000 feet above sea level. The Himalayan mountains and nearby ranges stop the clouds with rain from coming in, which is why this area doesn't get much rain and is very dry. However, China has finally come up with a plan to completely solve this problem, and if it succeeds, then there's no stopping China. Its dependency on other countries will drastically lower, and this isn't a very good news for the other countries. So, what's the plan that China's focusing on? Mongolian Gobi is a synonym for big and dry regions, which include enormous stretches of desert, covering 41.3% of the Earth's total land area. In the 1970s, China became concerned about their desert's growing problem, and they began the fight to tame the desert. Moving ahead to the current decade of the 2000s, they have effectively expanded the amount of farmland by pushing back the deserts. China is currently building a new wall that differs significantly from the Great Wall of China, as it is being constructed to utilize the country's arid land for the benefit of its citizens, and its plan is to turn the Gobi Desert into a forest. Imagine a nation as vast as China, with a population of 1.3 billion people and a land area of 3.5 million square miles. Despite only 12% of its land being suitable for farming, China manages to feed 22% of the world's population with just that cultivable land. Meeting the needs of both its vast population and limited cultivable land poses a significant challenge for China. Indeed, it is quite an accomplishment. However, Chinese leadership has been concerned about one thing: the Gobi Desert. While the government is no longer worried about potential attackers using the desert to invade Beijing, the rapid desertification of China's northern regions remains a significant threat to the nation and its people. Although it's a great project, but this isn't going to be so easy. There are lots of issues which, if not looked into, can turn the whole project into a nightmare for China. So, well, can this project be even completed? The Gobi Desert, which is the driest location on Earth, is expanding at an alarming pace. It has converted about 2250 grasslands into uninhabitable wastelands, covering 500,000 square kilometers of northern China and southern Mongolia. This arid terrain acts as a natural barrier between the two nations. For a considerable period, China has been combating desertification. As one of the most industrialized nations globally, the Chinese government could not afford to sit back and watch their valuable farmlands turn into deserts. And to tackle this problem, the Chinese government took a major action. However, it wasn't until the 1970s that the government prioritized addressing the desertification of its fertile regions and implemented significant measures to solve the issue. Chinese scientists employed by the Ministry of Forestry believe that trees have the ability to act as windbreaks and prevent the desert's progression. The Great Green Wall project is expected to run until 2050, with the aim of planting around 88 million acres of forests in the form of a 3,000-mile wall. In some regions, the wall will be as wide as 900 miles, serving as a comprehensive barrier against desertification. In recent years, the Chinese government has subsidized and implemented several extensive reforestation initiatives, resulting in the largest tree planting project in human history over the past few decades. As per the Chinese government, over 66 billion trees have been planted in northern China to date. The results so far have been satisfactory, as thousands of acres of moving dunes have been stabilized and the frequency of sandstorms across the country has decreased by 20% between 2009 and 2014. 336,200 square kilometers of desertification have been reversed, and over the last 4 decades, more than 10 million hectares of grassland have been protected or restored. By 2020, 93.24% of the Muas Desert has been restored with vegetation, and the desert areas that once ranked among China's 4 largest have almost disappeared from the map. At the beginning of this century, approximately 27% of China was covered in desert. However, due to the various initiatives taken by the government, the percentage has decreased significantly. So is everything going well and as planned? Even though the Great Green Wall project exhibits a great deal of promise, this doesn't mean that it's devoid of many challenges. Researchers in southwestern China found that farmers were cutting down native vegetation to collect money for sowing non-native plants as part of a government program. Furthermore, the region has also faced water shortages, which is a concern due to the increased demand for water caused by planting such a large number of trees. One aspect of the project that involves introducing non-native trees to northern China has led to the absorption of dwindling groundwater resources in regions where rain is scarce. This has created a vicious cycle where the new trees take what little water is left, and subsequently they and other plant species around them die out. Many regions of China have become drier over time, including some areas where trees have been planted. A 2019 study revealed that the number of semi-arid regions in China had increased by 33% between the years 1948 to 1962 and 1994 to 2008. According to a study conducted in 2004, only 15% of the trees planted between 1978 and 2004 had survived. However, the National Forestry Department has recognized the importance of planting trees in arid areas and have shifted their focus toward planting shrubs with lower water requirements. Now the Forestry Department has come to the realization that monoculture forests are not sustainable. As a result, Zhang Jianlong, the head of the department, has stated that efforts should be directed toward maintaining healthy vegetation rather than simply planting trees to create a greener future. Chinese environmental scientists have recognized the importance of biodiversity in new forests and have been adopting planting patterns that mimic those found in natural forests to promote greater resilience. With the technology available today, it is crucial that we make every effort to combat desertification and restore degraded landscapes.